Friends, today I am going to share something about my own personal experience in fighting diabetes. So I have been a diabetic for the last maybe around 10, 12 years or more than that maybe. And I was also on insulin injections to be more precise, insulin injections at night, and these injections were ever on the increase. The dosage was increasing day by day, month by month, not day by day literally, but it was increasing gradually. And my doctor had categorically told me, the diabetologist had categorically told me that this will not be reversed, meaning the insulin may never stop in that sense, because the way it was increasing, which means there is a reason for it to increase and it will not be reversed. And that was the onset when I had started off with. But today I have reversed this trend. I am on zero insulin at this moment. And it sounds like a miracle, but I am going to share this experience with you, my personal experience with you, so that you benefit. Who should be watching this video? Certainly diabetics should be watching this video. It is not just about insulin, it is about a process of reversing your diabetes. And if you are able to do this for yourself also, then maybe it will be totally a change and a new life for you. And it has been for me. So I'm going to reveal what I have done in order to make this happen. Okay, that is one thing. So diabetics should certainly watch this video. People who are on the verge of diabetes or pre-diabetic state, or people who have got diabetics around them, meaning in their close-knit circle of friends or family, if there are diabetics there, then you should watch it for guiding them. And people who are health conscious can generally watch this video. It is not just about diabetes, it is about living a healthy lifestyle so that you don't get close to diabetes anytime in the future as well. So do watch this video. Do not skip any portions of this video. This will be a little bit longish video because it will be a sort of an explanatory process about how exactly what is meant by diabetes. When we say diabetes, technically what is it that happens inside the body? What are the recent findings? There are some things which have been recently found out, and hence it becomes a little bit more easier for us to know that and then to fight diabetes than in the yesteryears. Till last year, this finding was not known to generic people, but now more and more doctors have been explaining this. So you will find this on the net as well. There is something that has come up recently because of which you can fight diabetes in a certain way, which I am going to explain now. It's not going to be a miraculous way or totally different than what it has never been talked about. It is not that way. But it is going to pinpoint certain things. Instead of beating around the bush, it will pinpoint to certain areas where if you follow those, then you will find results which maybe you will call it as a miracle as well, just as what I feel now and I experience now. So do not skip or fast forward this video at any point of time. Do keep watching till the end. I will also be telling you about monitoring process. I may also in the description of this video I will also leave some links to some products which you may think of exploring for your monitoring and tracking basis, but that is besides the point. That is if you really wish to do that. However, I will be talking about the reversal process. Friends, before you get into the flow of this video, I will remind you to subscribe to this channel as well as press the bell icon so that you get notifications. If you don't press the bell icon, you will not get notifications. Do enjoy the video. Also, before I begin with what is diabetes, I want to caution you that every human being is different. His or her constitution is different. His level of ailments is different. So it is not exactly a kind of a standard medicine or a formula that can be followed by everybody. So it is best to consult your doctor before you do something abnormal. if you find that anybody, not just in this video, if anybody gives you any advice regarding diabetes, it is not a small thing to be diabetic. There are a lot of associated problems associated with diabetes. So it is best to consult your doctor whether a lifestyle change in a certain direction is beneficial for you or not. So you are the best judge along with your doctor. The advice that I will be giving you today has worked for me, and hence I am sharing this, and I am almost certain that it will work for everybody. So there is nothing out of this world that I am going to tell you. It is about some very basic things only, and these basic things, how they are able to help, is what I am going to describe. So there is nothing to worry about in that sense. However, all advices are to be followed in accordance with your family physician or your diabetologist, which you normally consult. Okay, so let us start with what is diabetes, so that we are able to reverse it when we understand it more thoroughly. So let's look at what is diabetes first. Normally, when a person eats food, this food is mixed with various enzymes, including saliva, then maybe bile, and insulin. Okay. So I will come to bile and liver part of it later, but the most important one is insulin over here from diabetes perspective. So what does insulin do? Insulin normally does three different tasks. One, it breaks down the food into glucose. Okay, it may not be exactly one-to-one. There is a longer process to make it happen, and there is a way in which liver also functions. But just to make it simple, insulin breaks down the food into sugar, which is required, or glucose, which is required by your cells to get energy. Okay, that is one task done by insulin. Second task done by insulin is it acts as a key. It acts as a key to the cell, so that the cell gets information to receive sugar. Otherwise, the cell will not accept sugar if insulin does not unlock the cell. It provides instruction to the cell to open up, to take sugar inside, so that it feels energetic. So each cell will feel energetic because of insulin. That is another function of insulin. And the third function of insulin is when there is excess sugar in the blood, it will carry it to the liver, and liver will store it in certain format where it can produce sugar out of the stored material. So it is not stored as sugar, it is stored as something else, and then it can be extracted as sugar by the liver. So it's a very beautiful mechanism of the body. So these three tasks insulin is doing in normal people. But diabetic people have got these two problems. Problem number one, their cells develop insulin resistance, which means that even though the insulin may be there and it may be trying to make things happen as in normal people, it is supplying the sugar till that level, it is bringing till the cell, but the cell does not open up. That is one problem in diabetics. The second problem in diabetics can be the insulin secretion itself has reduced down, and it can be both the problems together in some cases. So it can be a variety of problems. And obviously when insulin is less, then the third function which we talked about, carrying it to liver, may also be hampered in that sense. So what happens in a normal process? When the sugar in the blood is above a certain level, the insulin carries it and stores in the liver. The rest of the sugar gets converted into fats and the person starts bloating up. This is a normal kind of a process. In diabetics, the problem is about either less insulin or the resistance of insulin from cell perspective. It is not receiving, so you don't feel energetic, you feel lethargic and feel like sleeping every now and then, feeling tired in that sense. Sometimes people become very weak because for prolonged diabetes, a person can become very weak as well. So this is diabetes. This is a diabetic condition, and what I am describing and what I am narrating is type 2 diabetes. So now that we have understood what is meant by diabetes, it is important to understand that over the period of these many years, whatever period you have lived so far, we have got some internal build-ups, internal issues maybe. So for example, there is a cholesterol built up in your arteries. You may not be close to attack or something, but still there is some cholesterol built up that happens in every person over a period of time. That reduces your blood flow, it gets a little bit throttled. The way in which your respiration happens, different polluted environments, sometimes lack of exercise, so your respiration, oxygen intake becomes less. So if you see diabetes compounded with all the other issues or other things that go on as a wear and tear of the body, then the cumulative effect of that becomes a little bit more concerning. So we have to look at it from a holistic perspective. When we are talking about a solution, one thing leads to the other, and if you resolve one thing, then maybe the other thing also gets benefited. That is the trick that I am going to talk about. So whether a cholesterol build-up is also contributing to your diabetic status, maybe, let us see. Whether your less oxygen intake, whether your mannerisms that you have developed over a period of time and because of which your intake of oxygen is creating a problem for aggravating your diabetic status, maybe. So let us look at that, and these are some factors which we are going to use in order to fight diabetes. So let us look at first what are the problems associated with being diabetic. So if you search up the net, you will find that the sugary blood that goes on in a diabetic person, even though a person may try to control the amount of sugar on a day-to-day basis, but there may be fluctuations. It may not be like a normal person. So these fluctuations, there may be chances that at some point of time the sugary blood flows through your body more often than a normal person, and this sugary blood, if it is touching to all the organs of your internal organs, like maybe kidney, liver, all organs, basically wherever the blood takes you, if it is touching to that, then you can imagine what damage it can do to those organs. If there is a coat over there of sugar, what can go wrong? Whether these other organs, whether they will be able to function properly, whether your arteries and veins will get more and more hardened, whether there will be a problem with your foot, whether there will be a problem with the retina, and there can be multiple heart related that. There can be a lot of problems which can be associated because of the generic blood flow that is happening, and that is sugary. So I need not tell you about what all things may go wrong if your diabetic status continues, and if it is uncontrolled. Of course, if you are fully in control, of course you will lead a healthy life. There is no problem if you are controlling everything. But yet, if many people do not lead that healthy life, and they are not in control, and because of which a lot of sufferings may happen. So these are some things that you already maybe can know of, and you can search the net for the same. So let us straight away dive into the topic of how do I reverse this. Now that I know about what is diabetes, now that I know about what harm it may cause, and the holistic picture that we talked about, let us look at how to reverse this effect of diabetes. And you will find that it is not that difficult, but it is not that easy as well, because it requires a lot of mental discipline, and discipline is going to be one key ingredient in making things happen. You also will need a team of people helping you. So when I say team of people, it is not like professionals you have to hire or anything like that. It is your own people. It may be your spouse, it may be your kids, it may be somebody who is around you. So this ecosystem should be helping you with it, and maybe you need to take help from some part of the ecosystem to make things happen. So let us look at that immediately, and I believe that will certainly help you. So how does it feel to walk at night after
lovely.
dinner?
It's lovely.
So guys, post dinner walk is always lovely with your wife. So along this walk, we'll be meeting a lot of friends as well. All those who are health conscious take a stroll after dinner, and that is what we are also following as a good practice. So you can also follow suit. A 10 minutes walk, not a brisk walk, it's a very simple, slow kind of a stroll should be sufficient.